there was a result of Nagaland Assembly election, and people of Nagaland, they gave their mandate, and in this election the people of Nagaland, especially when we contested on limited seats, it was only 12 seats NCP contested, and in this 12 seats, on this 12 seats, we got 7 MLAs elected, some constituency with very convincing margin. And if you see the result sheet, all NCP winning candidates, they were fighting with, except one, they were fighting with BJP candidate. It was a direct fight with BJP. The remaining 5, those who could not make it, they also are the runners up. They stood second in their respective constituencies, and there also the contest was with BJP. I have been traveling northeast for last 10 years, but I have seen Nagaland. Nagaland needs lot of development, and these 7 MLAs, those who got elected, they are the mass leaders. And as you all know, that Nagaland is a agricultural based state, and when NCP National President Honorable Sharad Pawar, he himself is a farmer. He is a farmer leader. He was Agriculture Minister, Government of India, and during his tenure he took a decision of waiving off loans of farmers of the entire nation. The farmers, those who took loans for the respective state government, the loans were waived off. And in that, Nagaland, the large number of farmers got benefit of Nagaland. The second important thing is women empowerment. As you all know that in Nagaland, men and women ratio, women are on the higher side, and it is Sharad Pawar who took decision, NCP Supremo, when he was Defence Minister from 2004 to 2009, that the young ladies, young women should be given an opportunity to serve defence services. I would like to also say that in Nagaland, there was a Government of India paper mill in district of Tuli. And when NCP was part of UPA government, Manmohan Singh ji was Honorable Prime Minister. That time, Praful Patel was given the responsible portfolio of heavy industry. Of course, NCP had civil aviation also with us. And you have seen the visible change in 10 years. More than 100 domestic airport there was a visible change which this nation saw. And a common man could fly and go by airways. It is during the tenure of NCP when Praful Patel was the Civil Aviation Minister. And when you talk about Nagaland, the paper mill was closed down. It was a sick mill declared. This mill used to generate a lot of employment for the youth of Nagaland, especially the Tuli district. Tuli district is like a gateway. When you talk about Nagaland, And it started, and today that mill is working full-fledged, and thousands of youth, local youth of Nagaland, they are getting employment there. Through you, I would like to thank the people of Nagaland, because NCP, right from its inception, as I told you, last 10 years, I'm looking after Nagaland's northeast states. A most popular party among the national parties, you see NCP, whether it is Nagaland or any other northeast states, we have been getting MLAs from Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Arunachal, and also Nagaland. But this time, this victory came after a long time, and today we have this 7 MLAs front of you. We are here, whatever the manifesto, of course we have limitations, but whatever manifesto has been brought by my state unit, my state president Vatungo Adyo and his team, we will see what best. Now, for example, I'll give you one example. A constituency which I visited, I was here prior to the election date. I traveled 1,000 kilometers almost, covering any constituency. But I remember one constituency of one of my MLAs, Mr. P. Longon. When I went to his constituency, that is Nagaland, the roads are in such a bad shape. You are a journalist, you have been traveling entire Nagaland. Nagaland needs road infrastructure on priority. The senior citizen, the students, the college-going students, school-going students, women, they must be suffering. I promised in that public meeting that if Mr. P. Longon gets elected, he will first get that road done. So all the NCP MLAs are with the commitment. We have our manifesto. Whatever best we could do, our MLAs are going to do.
Sir, one slight correction regarding the tulip paper mill.
Yes.
That has been shut down.
It's not functional.
It's not functional.
No,
So
300 crores during a proper Padyodan period.
Yes, I'll correct. I'll
300
see now for last 8 years, we are not in power. I said it during the tenure of Honorable Prime Minister when Manmohan Singh ji was there, and heavy industry was initially, we were having civil aviation, but later on heavy industry came to us, and 300 crore, you can check the record, everything is available on net today. The tenure, and it was started, it was full-fledged functioning. Now 8 years we are not in power, so it's rather 9th year in progress.
Well, sir, everybody is really curious to know whether the NCP will be in the opposition or you are communicating with the ruling BJP NDP alliance to be a part of the government. And also, secondly, there were speculations that your party will be announcing your opposition leader today.
See, one should understand, we are in democracy. And democracy, there is a treasury bench and there is an opposition. As a mandate, the strength of the assembly is 60. As per the constitution, it is 10% of the strength any party gets. They get the position of opposition, leader of the opposition, which is also a very important. It has always said that in democracy, opposition is equally important. But today I had a closed door meeting with my newly elected legislator. My NCP legislator party meeting first we had today. We had a long discussion and we had a thorough deliberation on this to how to take it forward. Because if you see the scenario today, it is NDPP with 25 seats, BJP with 12 seats, they had a pre-poll alliance. Then you talk about Ramdas Athawale, Republican Party of India, 2 seats. Then you talk about Ram Vilas Paswan, Lok Jan Party, they have 2 seats, 3 seats. Then you have NPP, they have, I believe, 5 seats, 4 or 5 seats. NP. Now you see, NPP, Lok Jan Party, Ram Vilas faction, and Ramdas Athawale. They are all part of. Ramdas Athawale is a minister right now, central minister. So if you see the numbers, you understand. But still, I have listened to all the MLAs, what they have to say. I have noted down. I'll be going to Delhi tomorrow. I'll be reporting National President of NCP, Honorable Sharad Pawar, and Sharad Pawar will be taking, after conveying our discussion, what discussion we had closed door, and then it will be told to you. But one thing is very sure, NCP is of the opinion of development of Nagaland. NCP wants the farmers of Nagaland should be given strength. What happened with farmer few years back, 700 farmers have to, lose their life when they were on the hesitation and they were demanding certain things from central government, but government did not bow down. So how in favor of farmer, because this nation today also, the India lies in the rural part of India. So here the NCP Supremo himself is a farmer. He knows the difficulties of farmer. NCP here believes in empowering women. NCP wants youth should be given employment. 40 years, it's on the peak, the unemployment, highest in 40 years. Inflation, the price of common commodities, you ladies, And one of the central ministers says that in June there is going to be a recession. Where are we heading? So the NCP is of the opinion, though we have limitations, that it has to be, whenever the power came to NCP, NCP has delivered. So my MLAs, NCP MLAs, they have come in power. Even they want to deliver. They want to nourish their constituencies.
In the past also, NCP has won seats in several tenures, starting, and maybe the highest was 4 in the past. And also in 2013 also two seats have been won. But we have seen the experience that they leave the party and join other parties to be in the government. So now this time how you are going to hold them?
You should understand the shifting of parties the MLAs, it's a common phenomenon in general in small states. See what has happened in Arunachal. Arunachal examples are now given in the Supreme Court. What has happened in Goa? What has happened in Meghalaya recently? Mukul Sangma went with 13-14 MLAs of Congress and went to Trinamool Congress. So this is a common phenomenon. Yes, the MLAs, their plight is that if they are in the treasury bench, there are two things. Northeast states always wanted to be in alliance with the central government because there are a lot of support, financial support, development comes from the center. So if you see the history, when it was Congress regime, it is to be Congress ruled government here, most of the states of Northeast, and then in the center it has to be the Congress government. So yes, switching over MLAs from one party to another party, it's a very common in small states. So here, as far as Nagaland is concerned in the current situation, I have spoken to my MLAs at length, and this will be conveyed to the party high command, and party high command, whatever decision takes, will be conveyed to you.
Mr. Verma, Nagaland have witnessed opposition-less government twice, in the last government also. So if the idea is mooted by the BJP NDPP alliance to NCP and also the other parties, which I know you cannot comment anything on for them, but with regard to NCP, if the idea is mooted for an opposition-less government, even this time around, are you in favor of the same?
Well, see, the scenario of Nagaland may be different, but when you talk about democracy, I'm not pertaining to Nagaland, but in general, in democracy, opposition has an important role to play. In our constitution, they have been given a lot of power. I understand. I will not talk about, I just would like to point out what BJP is doing today. Is it democracy? We are not on Nagaland. We are on what has happened in Delhi Municipal Corporation of Delhi. People gave their mandate and said no to BJP, but they did not. Clear picture of the number. It's a number game in politics. In democracy, it's a number game. Number is saying that BJP got defeated, but they did not. You must have seen on television. They did not allow to go through the election of mayor. Ultimately, the Supreme Court has to intervene, and it was done under the supervision of Supreme Court, and the mayor got elected. Is it a democracy? So in democracy, it is, you see wherever, what has happened in Maharashtra. What has happened in Maharashtra? By now, 10 states where democratically elected government was pulled down by BJP. So in democracy, opposition has a very important role. Role to play. Of course, the scenario of Nagaland is different. What happened in last assembly? Naga People's Front, how many MLAs and how they went? It was opposition-less. We understand. It is state too. So at times it is state. But you have, if you take this thing, opposition has an important role. If opposition would have not raised question on Adani, on this budget session, Supreme Court has to intervene and set up a committee. There has to be because it's a public money. When you talk about State Bank of India, under the Central Bank of India, talk about LIC, you talk about Nifty, stock exchange. Whose money? It's a common man money. So the Supreme Court has to intervene. The Election Commission is an autonomous body. What they have done in Maharashtra, they have taken away name, symbol. Supreme Court said nothing to it. It's not only the Prime Minister, there will be a committee. Leader of opposition, see here also leader of opposition has come in picture. Leader of opposition, Supreme Court judge, Chief Justice and the Prime Minister. Until you make a law in Parliament, this has come in force. So this is the beauty of democracy. But here, the situation has been expressed to me by my newly elected MLAs, and that will be conveyed to my High Court.
Sir, if we talk about democracy, I think Nagaland is not exceptional. It's all the same, right? So, if you say in a democratic democracy, opposition has a more, better role to play. What's wrong with Nagaland? What is it so exceptional?
No.
What does it make it so special that there should not be an opposition?
Achha, you tell me. Come on, now, Honorable N. Rio, I have a highest regard for him. He is a very senior leader. NCP, he had an alliance in past with NCP. And we contested together. We have all regards for him. But have you seen the development of Nagaland? I have travelled Nagaland. You have been travelling Nagaland, you will be covering all the political parties. What is the infrastructure, road infrastructure? Where we are? Among 8 sisters, I believe, I'm sorry to say, Nagaland has to do a lot. When people have given you mandate, you have to deliver. You have to deliver. You have to deliver.
Sir, my question here is NCP comfortable to be in the opposition, or are you looking for communication to be in the treasury?
People have given us the mandate to be in opposition, but my MLAs, I have a discussion with them.
And they're not willing.
This is the record straight.
We had a discussion. We believe in democracy. We believe in NCP believes in democracy. So, that is why I am here. That is why I am here.
But the way
I am not, 1 minute, let me complete. Let me complete, please. Because it's a recent incident I want to cite. What has happened in Maharashtra? Who was to take oath of a CM? And what happened at last moment on the dais, entire nation have seen. Devendra Fadnavis he was all set to take oath of CM. But it is Eknath Shinde and he has to. So it's not a democracy, it's dictator. You could see his reaction, his feet, everything. The entire nation saw that.
There are speculations doing round that NCP is the B team of NDPP. What do you have to say in this regard?
B team of
NDPP.
See, I tell you. NCP, see, I tell you, when we were born in 99, ma'am, when we were born, they used to always say, today or tomorrow, Sharad Pawar will go with BJP. You're all journalists, you must have read all this thing. And today is 24 years. Now, B team, we had a direct, all my MLAs defeated. See, in democracy, it is people's mandate. It is, you cannot go by the statement. Every voter has been given this thing. So they have voted because they are all connected to their respective voters throughout. That is why they are elected. And our remaining 5 people, they are also runners up. They have scored very good votes. So we have reached 10% votes we got this time in this election. So people may say anything, but we have, NCP has its own ideology. People, those who join us, they believe the ideology, and of course, The development of Nagaland is on our priority.
So, is the party decided about who's going to be the NCP party legislative leader?
We'll let you know. The discussion has taken place in closed door, which will be conveyed to the High Command, and then the decision will be definitely in a very proper press conference. We'll invite you and we'll convey to you.
Mr. Verma, apart from development being one of the top priority of the NCP, what is the NCP's take on the Indo-Naga political issue?
See, when you see the situation, when you talk about, the ASPA, when you talk about, whenever we, in our working committee and national executive, we are on the record that we stood that the ASPA should not remain here. It should go. It's not only Nagaland, it's entire Northeast states. And you believe me, what happened last year, that incident where army, and that time, coincidentally, our national executive was going on there, and it is me who raised this issue. And today, the part of Nagaland, if you say like part of Nagaland, this ASPA has been taken off, and there are certain areas, but gradually that it has to be, the power has to be given to this thing, and we are not in favor of this, the Special Armed Force Act, and NCP always in favor that this act should not be there.
It's about Naga political issue, sir.
What is the take
We're
of the
asking about Naga
NCP?
political issue.
Like, will you work a way out to reach out to the Modi government, because all the political parties, because all the elected members are facilitators to the Indo-Naga political issue. So how will your party take forward this issue? Because Nagas have been yearning for peace, and every election we see that all the political parties have this Indo-Naga political issue as their top agenda in their manifesto, apart from the developmental sectors. So what is the take of the NCP? We're not talking about ASPA here.
Okay, fine, I got it. I believe my state president, Mr. Audio, will put more light on this as far as our this stand on this is concerned. Audio?
No, I have nothing to say.
I think in the party's manifesto, the first thing that was highlighted is also this. If we can have a reference.
No, then if we have said it, 1 minute, if we have said it in our manifesto, so we stand by that. We have, no, 1 minute. See, if we have, you say, see, when you talk about Naga issues, as we all know, there are 16 types of different tribes which exist in Nagaland, and the rights of what has happened in Tripura today. Today, one front on the tribal basis, he came up, and people for the local rights, they have supported, means the party came in a, the large number, the party was given, mandate. So here also the Naga issues, this thing, so the NCP, our first thing is that whatever the local issues, local demand, we, the local, NCP stand by them. NCP stand by them. Because local, as you know, that Northeast states, including Nagaland, its tribal belts are in a larger this thing. So that rights, their power has to be given. Now what is Tripura also, they wanted a separate state, a separate autonomy. And he went with this to the people, and he got, out of 25 seats, he got, I believe, 16 to 70 seats elected. So we are with the local issues, whatever. The NCP is always.
You are not clear about the opposition leader or to remain in opposition also, but given a chance, if NDPP calls the NCP to be in the government with the 7 plus 25, 32, will you take it or not?
See, this is, I told you very clearly, this decision will be taken by the central leadership. I have come, I have done the assessment, I have done the observation, and it will be conveyed to him. It is the High Command, NCP High Command will take the decision, and it will be conveyed to you.
Mr. Verma, any tentative date of when the final
As early as possible. Tomorrow only I am going to reach Delhi. We might meet on Monday, and this thing today we are in this world, so it will be conveyed to you.